Okay, we should be live now. Yep, audio sounds good. Gonna set this up in Discord, and then we're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna get right into it. Oh, cool. It's added the latest patch, which was like nothing. Except for new scenarios. I guess it's not nothing. But Madden has been, quote-unquote, working on it since October. But yeah, we're going to watch both conference championship games today. We're going to find out who makes OFL Bowl 16. We've got the Browns and the Shamrocks in the AFC, along with the Seahawks and the Lions in the NFC. What is going on, everybody? What's good, Ethan, Giddy, Lucario, Miles? When is my next mock draft? Probably within the next couple of days, because I definitely want to have one before free agency. So, hopefully this weekend. That's what I'm going to try to do. But we'll see. Lions-Browns is not an option. Unless you said go Lions and Browns, then that's fine. Can't believe you actually... I can't believe it either. So, before we start, I did say a couple hours ago in the Discord that I have a very small surprise. It's not a big deal, but I figure you guys are probably going to like it. So, pretty much, I've had two controllers for a while. One of them broke. Like, the X button stopped working, and that's the most important button on the controller. So, I've only had one controller for a while. And then that one started acting funny, so I just ordered a new one on Sunday. It finally came in today. So now I have two controllers. Why is this relevant, however? Well, first off, why don't we have Siri pick a number? Siri, give me a number between 1 and 2. 1. Okay, so that means we will use the Shamrocks. But, if I am correct, I believe Cleveland will still be able to pick jerseys. I tried it out, so if I'm wrong, I apologize for getting everybody excited. I'm going to make a small change to the sliders. We're going to up the interceptions by, I think, 8. Both ways. Why not just make it an even 10? So yeah, it's not a big deal, but I figure everybody would be happy by it. Alright, I'm going to set up the other controller. If it doesn't work, I'm going to cry.
Okay, so we'll use your Dublin. But
it should let me pick both teams' jerseys. Yep. All right. However, one of you guys has to wear white. I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. Madden forces one of the teams to wear white. So Lucario and Nick, since you're both here, you'll have to compromise on which team wears white. For what it's worth, the Shamrocks do have less choices of jerseys, but they do also have a fire green. So, is the audio weird?
Hold on.
Let me hear it.
Oh, it's echoing. Okay, that's not... It's probably because I have two controllers. That's why. I think it's because of the two controllers.
Okay, does that work now? I just muted the mic off of one of them. I think that should work now.
That's why. I think it's because of the two controllers.
Okay, does that work? Yeah, there we go. Alright, I fixed it. That sounds a lot better. Okay, so Nick and Lucario both want to wear not white. So, I guess Siri's going to decide. 1 means Lucario gets to pick, 2 means Nick gets to pick. Siri, give me a whole number between 1 and 2. Siri has selected 2. So Nick gets to pick his jerseys. You say brown on orange. Brown on orange. Believe me, I wish you guys could both get what you want because you both are asking for different colors, so I don't have a problem with it, but Madden's just like that because that's how the real NFL is, so. Oh, you'll wear the right... Oh, okay, well that's easy enough. Okay, so Lucario can get his green. If it loads. What the hell? That should be the home jerseys. There we go. Are these the white throwbacks? Is that what you meant? The ones with the jersey numbers on the helmet? I assume. Will it let me move to the middle? It does. Perfect. Because I don't really want to user both teams. Although I guess it doesn't really do anything. So. Alright, we'll just rock with it. Oh, I have to make both teams ready. Alrighty, here we go. I just realized we never had a vote on which game we were watching first. We just automatically did this one. But we're already here, so we're just gonna do it. It's fine. Put the controller... Oh, I should have? I don't think it lets me switch. Is there a specific reason why it won't work? It's going to force... Will it? If it does, then we can just quit out and restart. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just restart. I'm going to probably do the awards tomorrow. I think that'll be the plan. I forgot I had to put the controller in the middle. But at least we realize now. So Lucario still gets to be the user, technically. This is a whole process of getting this right. We want the alternate classic. Yeah, the left stick on my my formerly main controller has been weird. That's why I haven't. That's why I got the new one in the first place. All right, now we're good. There we go. Okay. Took a little while, but now we're ready. The AFC Championship here to find out which team will clinch the conference and which team will advance to OFL Bowl 16. Two very unlikely foes, the 9-8 Dublin Shamrocks and the 9-8 Cleveland Browns, who both come out of the AFC North, which was one of the ugliest divisions in the league this year. So I am fully expecting a 10-7 ball game. But you know what? Sometimes ugly can be fun. I just forgot how it worked, okay? We've got two coaches who have never made it this far at all. Nick has never gotten past the divisional round. I don't believe Lucario has either. And now both of them are here in the conference championship with an opportunity to make the OFL Bowl as Cleveland will start on offense. The Browns' offense, to put it in one word, I would describe it as uninspiring. They don't play an exciting brand of football, which is odd because they have a lot of exciting players. They have a gunslinger at quarterback. They have Jamar Chase, an injured Jalen Waddle, who's not in the lineup today, Elijah Moore, Javonte Williams, and DeAndre Swift, who headline the big-name players. Dublin has a lot of talent on defense, though, headlined by Defensive Player of the Year candidate DeMarcus Lawrence. Can't believe this fraud beat me. I mean, Dublin can't be that fraudulent. They beat the 1 seed and they beat the 2 seed. Now they got to beat the 3 seed. The Browns' favorite play is the check down. We just saw it on that second down, resulting in about 3 yards. Corral is a very strong arm. This is like the complete opposite of Matt Corral in real life, but he does make a good pass there on third down. Who is 12? I guess that's their new wide receiver 3, KJ Osborne. So I guess he's going to be behind Elijah Moore and Jamar Chase. The whole AFC North plays like that on offense. I guess you're right, but we've watched more of the Browns, so it's been more apparent. But the Ravens play like that. The Aviators play like that. Not really as much for Shamrocks, but the Browns are just sort of like a more extreme version of it. I wouldn't say it's the worst offense ever because it does the job. They've won 2 playoff games with it. It's just they don't play an exciting brand of football. But it wins them games. And they have a very good defense, although they will be without David Ajabo the rest of the way. as he got hurt last week. Corral with a strike downfield, and it's incomplete. That should have been picked. That was right in his hands. I think Shaq Thompson's on your team. I'm not 100% sure. I have not touched the draft class. I have not tried to download it yet. I really hope it works, or else I'm going to cry. I was thinking about it. I think what we're going to do is FG said the draft class is finished that we were supposed to use last year. So that will be available, assuming I can download it. So what I was thinking I would do is we'll have a vote. We'll figure out if we want to use FG's draft class or if we want to use a real 2023 class with guys like Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, my guy DJ Uiagalelei, etc., etc., and then we would use FG's class next year. The custom players will be in regardless, so they're not really affected by it. But we'll probably have a vote after the OFL Bowl, before the offseason. And I do want to get through the offseason quickly. Because we're going to have the OFL Bowl on Sunday. I think realistically, by next Sunday, I don't think it's realistic to have the draft a week after the OFL Bowl. But I guess if we move fast enough, we'll figure it out. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now, we have to focus on playoffs. Who do I think will win? I have a weird feeling Dublin wins, but I could see it going either way. We haven't seen either of these two coaches in a conference championship game, so I really don't know what to expect. Nick has gotten screwed in the divisional round so many times. He's never made it this far, and Lucario has not either, so I really don't know what's going to happen, which is fun. But so far, the Shamrocks are looking good early as they get 30. Dublin does lose an offensive lineman, but it feels like there's just kind of some lucky magic with the Shamrocks. You know, it's the 7th seed, barely sneaking in. They beat the 2 seed by a lot. They beat the 1 seed by a lot. The Browns in the regular season were worse than New England and definitely worse than the Pioneers. So, I don't know. We'll see. Love the Hawaiian Demon, but as a Clemson fan, he disappointed the organization. He just had a bad year. I think he'll get it together. As a DJ Uiagalelei enthusiast myself. But yeah, this Browns coverage has been very uninspiring up to this point. They have not been all that good. First and goal, Dublin is in for the score. It's Tony Pollard with the touchdown. So the Shamrocks score first with the touchdown. It's 7-0. If you beat Nick, you'll feel bad. I mean, if you guys win this game, then you guys will deserve it more. Even though Nick's been here for longer, he's obviously been a lot closer, and EA has screwed him out of, multiple playoff wins. But if Dublin plays better today, then they'll deserve it. Dublin has earned it to make it this far, even though they snuck in as the 7th seed. It's not like they were a whole lot better than Cleveland in the regular season. I mean, both teams have the same record. Hearing reports that the defensive coordinator is fired. Your defense is the reason why you're here in the first place, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. So Cleveland's only now by 7. They're not out of it. We're in the first quarter. There's a good run by Javonte Williams. Khalil Shakir is a fraud kick returner. Using that, what was his 40? Like a 4.37 to good use? I don't know if that was his official time because all the times last week were totally messed up. Thoughts on Spencer Rattler? If I was an NFL team and had his name on my draft board, I would cross it out. I just do not think that guy is meant to lead an NFL organization. I think he has the talent, arguably, but I mean, you can deal with players being cancers at other positions. Like, I mean, we see it at wide receiver all the time. But you can't have that at quarterback. You just can't. So, I would avoid him until maybe, like, day 3. But we'll see how he does this year in a new environment. I would much rather have DJ too. Even though Spencer has still proven himself to be a better college quarterback, I know who I want. Is it just me, or do all old people love Desmond Ridder? Well, I've been a little bit lower on Ridder, and I guess I'm not old, so I guess that furthers your hypothesis. Is AB returning next season? I have no idea. He might just retire, because he's, what, like 34 at this point? So, 34 is usually that age in Madden where players, even if they're still pretty good, that's when they start to retire. So, I wouldn't be surprised. Which is fine, because I don't really want him to play anyway. Sack by DeMarcus Lawrence on 3rd down. They're going to have to punt, I think. Unless they have, like, the wind in their favor. So that concludes the first quarter. The Browns are looking shaky so far as the Shamrocks lead 7-0. Cleveland will send out the field goal team. It's a 57-yarder for Will Lutz. He made one from 62 to win the division a few weeks ago. This kick looks good. Oh, it's no good. I think it had the distance, but it was not accurate. So the struggles for the Browns continue. I think that was wide left, yeah. The Fraud Rocks, more like dub win. Imagine if this Dublin team wins the Super Bowl. I mean, neither of these teams, based on how they played this year, really deserved to win the Super Bowl. Seattle and Detroit are a lot better than both of these teams, if we're being honest, throughout the season. In a watched OFL playoff game, anything can obviously happen. But I think the winner of this game, regardless of what happens, is the underdog in the OFL Bowl. Obviously, so far, Dublin has gotten off to a very strong start, but there's still plenty of time. Most of the time, I do the draft in one day, yes. Usually it's about 2.5, 3 hours. I think I've probably done it before where I've split it up, but more times than not, I do it usually in one sitting. The fantasy draft obviously isn't like that, but like the regular off-season draft, yeah, that's usually in one sitting. Shamrocks are a big-time Cinderella story. They certainly are. I mean, as a 7th seed, I did not expect them to really do anything. I thought there was a chance they'd beat New England in the first round, but I didn't see them getting by Dublin. That was the big surprise. Well, the next stream be the OFL Bowl will be streamed on Sunday. It's probably going to be earlier on Sunday because Selection Sunday, I think, is at like 6 o'clock. And I am not missing Selection Sunday. Once the ESPN app has its bracket thing set up, which is usually like 20 minutes after Selection Sunday, your boy is going hard on the brackets. As the Shamrocks get another touchdown, and the rough start for Cleveland continues. But white boy, Trey Quinn, with the touchdown. Sim, right now, I don't want to watch this. No, not yet. What is good? No problem for being late, by the way. Don't worry about it. It's all good, Chief. 4-leaf clover dance on him. That's what I call grit right there. Trey Quinn is the type of guy, lunch pail, hard hat, blue collar type of mentality. First guy in, last guy out. Addicted to the film room, and most importantly, super high character kid. He's the type of guy I'd let date my daughter. I mean, just a really, really good dude. He has to cut the hair, though. Gotta get rid of the hair. Since Reggie needs to get to OFL Bowl 16. So are we going to call Nick Reggie now? What's good, Reggie? Do I have any corners or wide receivers? If Antonio Brown doesn't retire, he's available. I don't know if he's going to retire or not because he's like 34, but he probably wouldn't cost a ton. Trey Quinn is just a stand-up Christian boy. Goddamn right! Definitely let my daughter date Trey. After the haircut, of course. Nothing below the shoulders. You're down by 14. Stop it. Stop running. Just stop it. There's another sack for Corral. This time it's Carl Lawson. I've always said offensive lines in this game really don't matter, and I stand by that. But I will say, if Cleveland's offensive line didn't have 5 revolving doors, maybe this team could have a shot. The Browns overall probably isn't that high because they're just a super young team. Compared to Nick's other teams in the past OFLs, this is honestly one of his worst teams. I think I said that last stream, and it's not necessarily his fault. It's just because his team is young. He drafted all rookies, so obviously towards the beginning, they're going to be a little bit worse. But his Thunderbirds teams last year, definitely some of those Cardinals teams in the past, particularly OFL 20, they would steamroll this Browns team. I mean, it wouldn't be close. You're replacing the entire offensive line. Good. Get 5 new guys. Everybody there, gone. And you can send us Christian Darrisaw if you want. I'll take him. Browns' offensive line is looking like Alejandro Villanueva. Or Alejandro Villanova, as you spell him. I mean, it's been a blowout so far, but we've seen crazier. We've seen crazier. Nick has been on the other end of crazier, where he's gotten screwed. So, although it's been a one-sided game, we'll see. 3rd and 5. Lamar's gonna... What the hell? He had like a 20-yard run up the middle. Why did he do that? Huh, that's odd. Oh well. I guess you do you, Lamar. Brown is like probably an 82, and he's going to regress, so he'll be lower. He'll probably be more like an 80. As for speed, probably low 90s, high 80s. Ooh, nearly a water punt. What players do I think will get overpaid in free agency? I assume you're referring to real life. The big one I think people are going to be surprised by is Mitchell Trubisky. I think he's going to get a bag. He's going to get paid. I would expect his annual salary to be between $15 and $20 million. I think someone is going to drink the Kool-Aid, bite the bullet. I could see it being Indy. I could see it being Carolina. I could see it being Pittsburgh, although Pittsburgh's probably a little bit too smart for that. I could see it being the Giants, even though they say they're committed to Daniel Jones. They do have the Buffalo connection. I think Max Crosby's contract is very fair. 4 years, $95 million. I don't have a problem with that deal. It's not like an overly long deal, so I guess maybe they can get out of it after a couple of years if things go south, but he was fantastic last year, so I don't have a problem with that contract at all. Ooh, nice stiff arm. I couldn't tell who that was. It might have been more. Corral now gets it to Jamar Chase. If Cleveland scores a touchdown, they're only down by 1 possession. They're not out of the game. How do we do the re-sign stuff? So once the OFL Bowl is done, I'll have a video with like every team's players who need to be re-signed. The free agency class this year is not going to be good because in fantasy draft franchises, the contracts are edited, so the higher picks have longer contracts. So the earlier free agency classes are really bad, and then in a couple of years, the free agency classes are going to be loaded. So for the most part, most teams don't have a lot of key players to re-sign, but there might be like some young depth guys in there you want to bring back. So I'll have a video for that, and I'll explain how the contract process works for those who are new. Booth review. Was he? I don't think he was in bounds. Yeah, he didn't get one in. Well, I don't know. That's close. I didn't really get a good view because I have an Xbox controller that's like facing my TV, and it literally blocked out right where his feet landed. So I cannot tell if he's in or not. At all. Okay, he was. I'm going to go back and see on the stream. You know, maybe I shouldn't have my Xbox controller right in front of my TV blocking the screen. Okay, that's actually kind of hard to tell. As Corral is sacked again. Oh, yeah, he's in. He did get them both in. That's an unbelievable catch. 2nd and 17, down to 45 seconds. Short throw for Osborne. That's a good call. That was a good timeout. And now it is 3rd down. Corral, deep for the end zone. It's caught out of bounds. Chase did a good job of getting away from the corner, but pass was a little bit off the mark. I feel like Corral's numbers are not that bad, but Corral's weird because his numbers always look good, but I feel like he hasn't played well in a single watch game. His numbers just don't look bad, but I don't know. I feel like he just hasn't played well. I feel like his stats are kind of misleading. EA is going to have this go to 28-3 to have the Shamrocks lead, and then the Browns come back, force overtime, have the Shamrocks go in overtime. That would be how the Browns would lose. They would do that to Nick. They would. Browns are going to lose on a Hail Mary. The Browns got to make it close enough to where they can lose on a Hail Mary. First and foremost. Looks like Dublin with 3 timeouts will try to drive down the field. Or maybe not. No, okay. After one play, they said, no, I don't feel like it. One more play. Okay. Only the 35. That could have been something. If only number 1 was a little bit faster. So that'll end the first half, and the Dublin Shamrocks Cinderella story looks like it's just getting started. They lead the Browns 14-3. Cleveland has played very uninspiring football, and today it has caught up to them. The Shamrocks start this with the second half on offense, so if they can score a touchdown, they could turn this game into a sim. Cleveland played a little bit better there towards the end of the second quarter, but they're still down by 11. They still got a lot of work to do. That would have been funny. I'm not going to lie. That would have kind of been funny if they scored. Everyone on this team is getting slapped. You should have said everybody except for Carl Nassib. Therefore, everyone would actually get punished. Carl Nassib probably wants it. He's probably going to offer that his teammates a trade where instead of slapping them, you give their slaps to him. Reports say that Coach Reggie Peters is abusing his players during the halftime show. I mean, Reggie Peters abused a lot of quarterbacks last year in OFL 21, so it really wouldn't surprise me. I could see Reggie Peters just sacking Matt Corral in the locker room just for old time's sake. He should be sacking his corners, though. I mean, this coverage is terrible. The Browns' defense is why they made it this far. Their defense has been so good this year. This is very uncharacteristic of that side of the ball. Lamar on the run for the end zone. It's caught out of bounds. Now 2nd and 10. And they get 18. Lamar Jackson has been really good. And, you know, an interesting storyline that I just realized, how many OFL rings does Lamar Jackson have? He has at least 4. Because he won 2 in OFL 19 with the Rams, although he didn't play in one of those games. If you remember, that was Brad Kaya. In OFL 20, when he was on my team, he won 3. So Lamar Jackson has won 5 OFL Bowls. He's 5-0. Didn't win any last year, but his Shamrocks are now up 21-3, looking to get back this year as this game has turned into a sim. Lamar Jackson has never lost an NFL Bowl. He's 5-0, trying to make it 6-0 like Michael Jordan. And with a 3-score lead, he is looking to recapture that glory. And since it is a 3-score lead, again, we are now in sim mode. Browns do nothing. They punt it away. Down at the 6. We might actually see the 28-3 lead. I forgot they had Amari Cooper. That's right. That's who their great receiver is. 3rd and 7, broken up by Patrick Surtain. Whoa, it was down at the 2. What happened? 97-yard run by Javonte Williams. Okay. We're going to keep simming for a little bit. If it gets close again, we'll hop back in. Third and 13, nothing. Okay, so it's the end of the 3rd quarter. I'll let you guys pick. It's an 11-point game. Cleveland has the ball. Do we send this drive or do you want to watch? I'll let you guys pick. If we send this drive and the Browns were to score, then we would definitely hop back in. Watch, keep simming. Why am I not surprised Nick said that? Sim, okay. Seems like a majority votes Sim. A.k.a. a majority wants Cleveland to win. If Cleveland scores, we're going to hop back in, though, because that wouldn't be fair. If it's a one-possession game, we're going to watch. But normally, if this was a regular season game, I would keep simming. So, it's not totally unfair, as Corral is incomplete. Down at the 1, though. 3rd and 1. They get 6 to Russell Gage. 17 for Coop. $15 more for Coop. They are letting go of this clock. Hooker with a penalty. Yeah, I think Cleveland's done now. I think they're done. 1st and goal. Cooper pretty much walks it off. The Browns have a nice drive. They do score. We're going to keep simming. Third and 2 for the game. They don't get it. Field goal is blocked. There's 39 seconds left. Why don't we just hop in? The Browns are out of timeouts. They need a miracle. They need a miracle. Dublin is 39 seconds away from being the first 7th seed in OFL history to make an OFL Bowl, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. They just got to lob up a Hail Mary at this point. I know there's still 20 seconds, but they still need another score. It's only fitting that with no timeouts, the Browns season ends on a check down. It's only fitting. That is the only way this season can end. One more check down. Yes! And there's a flag. It had to end on a check down, as it's a hold. It had to end on a check down. And your ball game is over. The Dublin Shamrocks have shocked the world. They are headed to OFL Bowl 16 as the representative from the AFC. They were the 7th seed. They were not supposed to be here. They were scraping through the regular season, just kind of in the middle. They sneak into the playoffs. They get some luck, and they beat the top 3 seeds in the conference, all of which by more than one score. So it's not like these are some fluke wins. I think this might have been the closest game that Dublin had. Check down Corral. That's his new nickname. I like that. Who won the first 15? Well, I have 4. Alpo has like 2 or 3. Naruto has 1. Roberto has 2. Colin has 1. There were some others. I'll pull up the list soon. Lamar Jackson played really well. He was phenomenal. Check down Corral again. The numbers look good, but the numbers are deceiving with him. This is Matt Corral every watch game. Every game. 109 passer rating. That's really good. But he's just not aggressive. Tony Pollard played very well. Javonte Williams had the 99-yard run. Who here wants Corral? Not me. Matt Corral is the OFL equivalent of Alex Smith. I can kind of see that. Yeah, I would agree with that. Because it's not like Corral's bad. He doesn't make mistakes. He just doesn't win you games. He's in that like Alex Smith, Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill. Although Tannehill's play is a little bit more spontaneous, so maybe not. But like Alex Smith, Kirk Cousins, those mediocre guys, Andy Dalton, or I guess at least Bengals Andy Dalton, of guys who aren't going to win you games but aren't going to lose you games. The check down king. Dublin had one chance at greatness for 28-3 and blew it. One new injury. Who got hurt? David Edwards, starting guard. He will not play in the OFL Bowl, which will be against either Seattle or Detroit. Siri, give me a whole number between 1 and 2. 1. I think that's Detroit, yeah, because Seattle's the 1 seed. All right, so would we rather the Lions wear colorful jerseys or pretty much the Seahawks neon green? If we do want the Seahawks neon green, I'm making the Lions wear blue pants because this is my favorite jersey combo that we have. Why is it taking slow to load? There we go. So do we want Seahawks green? We can do Seahawks gray, Seahawks blue, Lions blue, Lions gray, or throwback Lions black. Or Seahawks throwback. That's also an option. The funny thing is, Corral's not like Alex Smith at all in real life, which is, like, ironic. But here in the OFL, he's a clone. For anyone who wants to see the throwback, this is one of them. That's probably the choice. It's that or this. This is, like, not even a throwback. It's practically the same one. If we're doing a throwback, we're doing the whole thing. We're doing the whole shebang. We're doing this. Even though I think their current helmet is cooler. Seahawks have one of the best helmets in the league. Honestly, you could argue it's the best. Although I think ours is pretty high up there, too. Any more votes? We'll go with the Seahawks throwback if we don't have any other votes. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Boatwell's like rookie Daniel Jones, but his upside is Josh Allen. I would say that's fair. He's like an even more sporadic Daniel Jones. His highs are higher, his lows are lower, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't know if he has Josh Allen upside, but that superstar X factor and some of his physical abilities, I mean, there's certainly a shot. Yeah, it looks like we're doing throwback. Alrighty. So who will play against Dublin in the OFL Bowl? Will it be Detroit or will it be Seattle? Both of these teams throughout the regular season were definitely better than Dublin. I think the winner of this game will be the favorite regardless. Okay, these jerseys actually look kind of fire in game, I'm not going to lie. But I think both of these teams will certainly be the favorite against Dublin. But we'll have to see. The Shamrocks just have sort of like a magic allure about them, I think. I don't know why. Again, two coaches who have never won the LFL Bowl. For the Seahawks, they are led by Coach RNP. He's been here since day one. He made an OFL Bowl last year at the Jaguars, but lost to Coach Hobie and the Buccaneers, led by Jordan Love, who is not an OFL Bowl caliber quarterback so far this year. The Lions are coached by Jose, who's been around for a while, I believe since sometime in OFL 19. So he's been here since pretty much the beginning. He's had some playoff teams, but he's never had a team make it this far. And we'll see if they can keep the magic going to face off against Lucario's Shamrocks. Oh, I accidentally usered both teams again. I'm stupid. I'm still not used to the two controllers. All right, from the top. Seattle throwbacks. Lions wear the blue pants. We move Seattle to the middle. Now we're good. All right, there we go. Say I'm overreacting, but Corral may have thrown his way out of Cleveland. It's not his fault we lost, but it didn't help. I don't think that's overreacting at all. I mean, Corral's played like this all year. It's not. It wasn't just some random performance where he wasn't all that good. He's played like that every game that we've watched, which at this point is like 5 or 6. So we've watched plenty of Matt Corral. We've seen him in the sim. He just played very average. And with a young team like that, that's not enough to win an OFL Bowl. So I don't think you're really overreacting. What are the chances Nick trades his whole draft to move up and get C.J. Stroud? Probably pretty high. I could see it. I think this is a pretty even game. I think these are the two best teams in the conference, although Atlanta's right up there, and we saw Atlanta go toe-to-toe with Detroit last week. But I think based on how these two teams have played in the regular season, they're equally deserving. Good start from Micah Parsons. The Shamrocks are not as good as either of these teams, but again, they heated up at the right time, so I can't really blame them. Boatwell or Corral long-term? Honestly, I would pick Boatwell long-term. I wouldn't really have to think about it. Corral only has normal depth. So Corral and Boatwell are going to be practically the same rating next year. They'll probably be within 2 or 3. And Boatwell has a depth chart. And Boatwell's probably better in watched games, even if his numbers are a little bit worse. Good throw by Deshaun Watson, who, of course, had a big day in real life today. For those who didn't hear, he was found not guilty on his stuff. So it seems like he's going to play next year. In the OFL for quarterbacks, you're either a rookie sensation or just meh/terrible. I mean, that's kind of what it is in real life, though, too. I mean, Mac Jones was kind of a rookie sensation. I mean, I wouldn't say he lit the world on fire, but he kind of was. And then the other rookie quarterbacks, although I would still pick them over Mac Jones, they were all meh/terrible. Seattle's quarterback is Kyler Murray. So we have a sexual predator facing off against a short person today. So, an interesting matchup. And the winner faces off against a running back. I'm kidding. I've always found the Lamar Jackson running back jokes really stupid, but I couldn't find any other funny meme nickname, so we kind of have to go with it. Don't know if you want a rookie quarterback again. I mean, that's fair, but I'd be willing to gamble that if we do use the real-life draft class, Stroud probably has a dev trait. And even if the FG's draft class wins, there's going to be some good quarterbacks in there. I've got to think. I mean, Corral is 72 normal. It's not like he's some great prospect. And he didn't really back it up on the field. Bryce Young's probably going to be really good as well. Again, if we use this class. I may add some Easter eggs to some certain players who I like. Wink, wink. Do I think it's the right move? If I was you guys, I don't think you have to pursue a quarterback, but if you have the opportunity to get a better one, then it might be hard to pass that up. But you don't have to force it. You don't have to go into the offseason with a mindset quarterback or bust. But if the opportunity presents itself, it might be hard to pass up. 48-yard field goal attempt for Detroit. Kick goes down the middle. And so the Lions are on the board. My draft Bryce Young is here at 4. It seems like everyone wants the real-life draft class, which doesn't surprise me. I figured that's what would be popular. That's what won the vote by a lot last year. And we'll still have FG's draft class in our back pocket. Matt's offensive line did not help him. Yes. I would say the offensive line is a priority over quarterback. But, sort of like the Ravens, if you have an opportunity to get a better one, be hard to pass that opportunity up. Who's picking number 1? The Rams are picking number 1 for a second straight season. Last year they picked Aiden Hutchinson. Want FGs, but it's scarier. Yeah, with the real-life draft class, I think it's a lot easier. Which, for that, I don't want it to be easy for everybody. So I would almost rather it be FGs, but at the same time, I think the only time it would make sense to use the 2023 draft class is this year. Because let's say we use FG's draft class this year and then the 2023 draft class next year. That's just kind of weird. Because the 2022 players were drafted 2 years ahead. That just seems odd. As Detroit gets a stop. Ooh, we're going to get a what a punt? Oh, what a beauty. Down at the 2. What a punt. Nice hair as well. So now Deshaun Watson and the Lions have it back. I think your odds of getting someone generational at 4 or higher in FG's class, I would probably agree with that. I think it's harder to find out which players are generational in FG's class because they're more scattered, but there are probably more throughout. So I think it's harder, but I think there's more. If you're getting a quarterback, you want a highly rated one, or if you're sticking with Corral, that's probably the right move. I mean, if obviously you can get someone good in the trade market. I don't know who's going to be available, but I would have to assume there's going to be some good QBs on the block. At least one for the right price. Hypothetically, DJ's there at your pick. Do you think I should pick him? If the scouting report comes back good, I haven't downloaded the draft class, so I have no idea how good any of these players are. FG stands for Franchise Gaming. He is another sports gaming YouTuber, just as myself. And he made all of our draft classes last year, and he has made one for us this year as well. And they're usually really good. He does a fantastic job. Third and 8. Good throw. Is that Eckler? It was Eckler to 29. What is good, Tyler? Welcome in. Another good play by Eckler. So through the first quarter, neither team has gotten out to a great start, but so far Detroit definitely has the upper hand. The Lions lead 3-0. Their offense is looking pretty good. Seattle's not so much. Do you think the Falcons should pick up DJ Chark if he gets some cap space? No, he's ours. But if he's not ours, then yeah, that'd be a good pickup because Atlanta needs receiver bad. So Chark would instantly become the number 1, even if Russell Gage just re-signed. Obviously not counting Calvin Ridley. All this makes me wonder how we managed to beat Denver. Denver's a better team than the Shamrocks, so I agree. But the Pioneers are better than Denver, and Dublin beat the Pioneers. So none of it makes sense. Nothing makes sense. But here we are. Looking back, the last quarterback class was really sad. Well, we're talking about the real-life QB classes being bad. And I guess that kind of carried over into the game. Corral has his lumps. Malik Willis, I'm confident when going into next year, but he wasn't perfect. And you all know DJ is my boy, so it might be hard for me to pass on him. Kenny Pickett didn't play. Desmond Ridder was blah. Carson Strachan didn't play, and Sam Howell didn't play. Hector Estrada also did not play. So, we don't really know how good any of them are. I have a good deal for you. I mean, the Cardinals have some pretty good quarterback talent. Who doesn't want some good old Carson Wentz or Tua Tagovailoa? It's probably I didn't watch it. I guess that'd be the reasoning. There you go. Sam Howell is the backup for the Dolphins, but I imagine he will start for them this year. I would assume Marcus Mariota is going to regress, and Sam Howell is going to progress. So Howell's going to be the starter. I don't know why RSV never made the switch, but he hasn't been active super recently, so that's probably why. I've been a lot less lenient with the not as active people, but since RSV has been super active in the past, I'm a little bit more lenient when it comes to that. Like, newer people who just, like, weren't active at all at the beginning, I figured they're just probably a lost cause. It's fine. But kind of like, you know, not have them coach. They're not going to do anything. 3rd and 7. Good sack for P.J. Hall. So we'll see another field goal. Don't think any of the quarterbacks from the draft are going to start. I think that you could make the case that none of them should start. But teams just rush in their quarterbacks. That's what they like to do. So I would expect 2 or 3 start right away because that's just how these teams roll. There aren't a ton of teams who desperately need QBs, though. I mean, the Colts do, but I think they're going to add a veteran, whether it's Mitch or Jimmy G. I think they're going to get someone. The Steelers do. The Giants, maybe. The Bucs do. The Saints, maybe. I think they'll bring Jameis back. Carolina does. Maybe the Texans? I don't think they do, but maybe they do. Maybe they get someone. Maybe Washington, but again, unlikely. Maybe Detroit, but again, very unlikely in my opinion, and that's really about it. Maybe the Dolphins, but they're not going to get a rookie to replace Tua. That'd be kind of a lateral move. You can cross off the Hector to Cleveland rumors. I'd rather start Mason Rudolph than trade for Hector at his price. I don't blame you, although I never really thought you were interested in Hector to begin with. So... I think Pickett and Ritter are the most ready guys, largely because they're a lot more experienced and they seem a lot more pro-ready. But I don't think they're going to light the world on fire. So my sort of thinking with the quarterback class is those 2 guys are not going to be spectacular as rookies. They don't have the physical upside as Malik Willis or even Sam Howell or even Corral or even a healthy Carson Strong. So that's why I'm a little bit lower on both of them. I still think Pickett and Ritter are going to be 2 of the first probably 4 quarterbacks off the board. And if you're a team like the Steelers or the Bucs, who has a good roster and is a quarterback away, then that's probably not an awful pick. But if you're a team like the Lions, for example, I think getting one of them would be pretty pointless. I would rather like a Malik Willis or a Sam Howell. If we were to pick a quarterback, which I think is super unlikely. I'd be shocked. And I'd be pretty disappointed, too. Jax makes Brady... I don't think Jax is making Brady available after that postseason. Two-minute warning, the Lions are up 6-0, but Seattle's marching on the doorstep. I'll take Brady. What if Brady just retires? His final game, he breaks the record for passing yards in a game, and it just says, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to quit. That'd be funny. That would also mean Hector has to start. Which, take that as you will. 2nd and inches, Kyler's going to run with it. He could have gained more than 3 if he wasn't a wuss and slid so early, but I guess it's better not to take the hit. About a minute left now. Both teams still have all 3 timeouts. Seattle is not really worried about the clock. And to be honest, they really shouldn't. And right as I say that, they call the timeout. I just think the Lions are in a spot where it just wouldn't make sense. It's not a good quarterback class. We have way bigger needs. I would just be really surprised. And I hope I'm right, because I do not want a quarterback at all. Jared Goff is not the guy, but we don't have a roster to support a rookie quarterback. We just don't. As Keenan Allen puts Seattle ahead. Detroit still has 55 seconds to 3 timeouts, so they do have enough time to score. Remember, Seattle does open up the ball in the second half, so the Lions kind of need to score or else that'd be kind of bad for them. We've seen the Lions have some crazy last-second drives on offense this year, including the very first watch game of the year, as Noob knows all too well, the Hail Mary. Watson starts with a run. Do I think Mason Rudolph will start next year? Lord, no. If the Steelers are starting him, then that's a problem. That's a big problem. So, for their sake, I hope they actually get someone good. because they're the Steelers. They're a very well-run organization. They know what they're doing. They can't go into next year with Mason Rudolph. They just can't. Because he sucks. Watson with a strike. Detroit's in field goal range. They got to go no huddle, but I don't think they should waste their time out yet. Or let's just pull off a Chase Claypool and celebrate as the clock winds down and then call a timeout 15 seconds later because logic. I would probably just take the points now. Just get the lead. That's what they're going to do. I think that's the right call. No point of... unless you take a shot through the end zone. Oh, they missed it. I was not looking at the screen when he kicked it. I just assumed he made it. All right, so Seattle holds on to their lead. I guess we're going to see a Hail Mary from Kyler Murray. Murray got it there. It's... oh, my God. Seattle with a Hail Mary touchdown and the first half. I think that was Marquez Callaway. Oh, boy. What an end of the first half for the Seahawks. Why have there been so many Hail Marys this year? I swear, we've had like 5. That's at least the 5th Hail Mary this year, which is cool. The more Hail Marys, the merrier. But what the hell? Seattle opens up with the ball, too. The Lions were looking like the far superior team through the first quarter and a half. And now here they are down by 8. They have to start on defense. Things are rough right now for Detroit. That is brutal. Oh my goodness. Can we skip out of this EA? At this point when I see Hail Mary, I'm almost not even surprised. We've had 3 here in the playoffs. Because remember, the Tigers had 2. They didn't score on either of them, but they had 2. Obviously, that time they did score. Okay, can we get out of this screen? Thank you, EA. As, of course, my YouTube app shuts down, so I'll pull up the chat again in just a second. What the heck? Oh, did I accidentally click go to the next play? I think that's what I did. Seattle scores a touchdown here. The Lions are in trouble, even if the Seattle Seahawks score in general. Then the Lions are in trouble. How come everyone has a Hail Mary, but my quarterback just throws check downs? Because you and Hail Marys don't go well in this game, as we all know. Do I think Kyle Trask will start in real life? I think there's a chance. I mean, the Bucs used a second-round pick on him, so obviously they like him. If they're smart, no. He's not a starting caliber quarterback, in my opinion. I don't think he will start next year, but I think there's more of a non-zero chance. I think there's a far higher shot that he starts than Mason Rudolph. If Matt Ryan surprisingly retires, do you start Rosen, Franks? No, you don't start either of them. You get someone new. Those guys are not starting quarterbacks. Felipe Franks is barely a quarterback to begin with. I mean, he could probably move over to tight end if he wanted to. But if that were to happen, which it won't, I feel like it's too late at this point. But if it did, they'd have to get someone new. Yeah, I trust Tampa Bay's judgment. I think they know what they're doing. But I feel like they are a little bit irrationally high on Trask. So I would say there's a less than 50% chance he's their starter next year, but it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. It really wouldn't. If he was like a 4th-round pick, then it'd be different. At least you didn't throw it away like Mac. That's true. Although Mac Jones is a better quarterback in this game than Matt Corral, so... I could see Felipe Franks being good in a Taysom Hill role. I don't know if I would say he's Taysom Hill 2.0, but I think Franks could be a versatile chess piece. Would you rock with Baker next season or trade the house for Watson? It depends on what the house is. Put it this way. I would inquire with the Texans, but starting with Baker next year is not the worst case scenario. I think he can do a lot worse. Baker's not good, but I think you give him one more shot next year. If he plays like he did this year, then maybe you move on. I think a lot of it was because he was hurt. I think he was playing injured. I've obviously been very low on Baker in the past, but I feel like I'm higher on him now, which is weird. So if you can get a fair trade for Watson, then maybe you do it, but I don't think you have to, force it. Wonder if Blake likes to choke in the playoffs. Bortles is still open. He's been bouncing around practice squads. I think he's either with Green Bay or Denver. I think he's been bouncing around those teams. If Seattle scores a touchdown, it's technically still a 2-score game. But we might just turn it into a sim for a little bit. Because Lions have not shown me anything that suggests they can come back. And 21-6 is practically 3 possessions. If Seattle only gets a field goal, though, we will stick with watching. The Seahawks have not ran the ball well at all today. They have thrown it very well, though. Ooh, they got stopped. What do you do here on 4th and goal? I believe that's... I was going to say James Cook, but that guy was number 87. Ooh, they're going for it. Why do I feel like they're going to pass it here? And I think they should pass it. Seattle knows a thing or two about passing on the 2-yard line. And it's intercepted! Well, that doesn't really change anything to an incompletion. Jordan Fuller picks it off. It's still a 1-score game, though. The Lions are kind of back in it a way. What if we trade for Watson just so Pittsburgh can't get him? Well, if you trade for Watson, it'll be for more than just Pittsburgh can't get him. But I guess that'd be icing on the cake. Oh, the surprise was that I have 2 working controllers. So that means I can pick the jerseys for both teams. For anyone who missed, that was the surprise that I alluded to earlier today in Discord that I talked about a little bit at the beginning of the stream. But yeah, I had a new controller come in the mail. It's purple. I've never had a purple controller. It's like a cool purple. It's like a purplish blue. It's sort of more like an indigo. It's a cool color. People forget when Baker wasn't hurt or surrounded by a fraud head coach, he was good. That's why I still believe in him. And again, this is coming from someone who has been, I don't want to say a hater because I feel like justified reasoning, but a lot lower on Baker. I don't think Tom Brady's coming back. I'd be shocked. I know there's been a lot of rumors. A lot of people think he might not be done. But I feel like with Brady, for him to retire, I feel like he had to have been satisfied with his career. So if he is satisfied, then there's not really a reason for him to come back because deep down, he accomplished everything that he wanted to do. And now he wants to be with his family. So, wow, what a catch. Holy smokes. But I would be very surprised if Tom Brady plays another NFL snap, which honestly, thank God. Good. Good riddance. Seattle, yeah, that wouldn't be the first time Seattle threw a bad interception on the 2-yard line. I said he would work at a Chick-fil-A after I know I had my takes on him, and I was wrong. I don't know if I said that specifically, but along the lines of. It's not that I feel like being a hater, you have to dislike the guy. I don't dislike the guy. I don't have an agenda against him. I just didn't think he was a good prospect. Like, Skip Bayless to LeBron James, that's being a hater. Skip Bayless has an agenda against LeBron James. I don't have an agenda against Baker. If he does well, cool. I'd like to see him do well. I like the guy. I think he has an edge to him. He's a fun player. Although I also like to look smart, but at this point, I've already realized I've been wrong on Baker. So at this point, I'm kind of rooting for him to do well. 3rd and goal, Lions have a touchdown. 2-point conversion ties it. I don't have an agenda against the Packers. I just hate them as is. I know they're good. I respect them as an organization. I think they really know what they're... Well, actually, not really. Brian Gutekunst is not the smartest. As George Kittle gets it, we're tied at 14. The Lions are back in the game. We were just talking about simming 5 minutes ago, and now it's tied. The Watson stuff came out probably a little bit more than a year ago. Around the time he asked out for a trade, I think. So it's been a little bit over a year. Seattle did a good drive to open up the third quarter, but turn it over on the goal line. They're still tied. They can still get the lead back here on this drive. But the short guy has to play well. This throw might be a good start. Downfield. Ooh, that was a good pass, but broken up. Great defense. Keenan Allen had that in his mitts. On 3rd and 1, they hand it off for Benny Snell. He gets 3. Seattle can get another first down. They can really put themselves in business. And in doing so, they should probably not run the ball a whole lot. Remember when the stuff came out, people accused the Texans of trying to create heat on Watson? And it made sense because they both came out at the exact same time. Obviously, that looks like it's not true. It could have been the Texans knew about it and covered it up. And once they realized that Watson wanted out, they said, hey, screw you. So I guess we'll never truly know. We'll also never truly know if he did it or not. We can really only speculate and try to find evidence, which obviously today there was not enough evidence to prove him guilty. Ooh, that should have been a pick 6. But I feel like people are going to confuse this with him being innocent. He wasn't proven innocent today. He was just proven not guilty. There's a difference. When you're innocent, that's when it's clear that he didn't do it. Yada, yada, yada. When he's not guilty, he still could have done it. It's just that there's not enough evidence. And Adam Schefter had a dumb tweet today that, like, he showed the problem between not guilty and innocent because people don't realize the difference. So I don't know if Adam Schefter has deleted the tweet. He probably should have by now. But it sounded like it would be something quoted by Watson or Watson's agent. It sounded very flawed. Bill O'Brien has to be the worst trading coach. Well, he's technically the only trading Texans coach because I don't know how many of their coaches have been GMs. But yeah, he's probably the worst thing that ever happened to the Texans. Because they had such a good thing going. If Bill O'Brien never choked that lead, we were talking about this in a stream earlier in the year. If Bill O'Brien never chokes that 24-0 lead against the Kansas City Chiefs, none of this might have happened. Obviously, we don't really know if the Watson sexual allegations are still a thing, but Bill O'Brien is never truly hated. DeAndre Hopkins is probably never traded. Deshaun Watson would have never wanted out. So for all we know, the Texans could have still been hiding this, and we would have no idea. Was that an offensive lineman who just caught that pass? And there's a roughing the passer not a roughing the passer, a face mask at the end. On Chandon Sullivan. Well, there you go. I think that was an offensive lineman. He pulled it down. I thought that comeback was almost worse. I mean, yeah, the 28-3 game was the Super Bowl and all that. That wasn't all on Dan Quinn, though. Like, I feel like the Texan choke was largely on Bill O'Brien. I feel like he deserved more heat than Dan Quinn. Because if it was just the whole team collapsing. The offense sucked, the defense sucked. And Tom Brady must have bribed the football gods as he usually does. 2nd and goal, Keenan Allen scores. Seattle is back up. So the Seahawks march down the field. They actually do capitalize on the goal line this time, and so they lead 21-14. That means we've now got a big drive here for Detroit. Shanahan does deserve more blame than Dan Quinn. I agree. If Shanathel runs the ball in the Super Bowl, will they win? Yeah. If they had just been smart about how they manage the clock, Atlanta wins that game. And yeah, Devontae Freeman was very good then, but even so, if Atlanta had just called the offense better, they would have won. I mean, you can only control so much on defense. I feel like you have more control of the game on offense because you're dictating how the clock is moving. You're dictating the pace of the game. Defense, it's trying to, prevent the other team from having control. Watson off his back foot, sends it deep. What a catch by Kittle. This is quickly turning into a very exciting game down the stretch here. Watson now runs. Shanahan was the offense. He was the one who ran the show there. That's why he was such a highly regarded coach that offseason. Obviously going to San Francisco, and he's been there since. The Fraud Locks ended up winning 28-17. So the winner of this game will play against Dublin. Or should I say, Dub-win. First and goal, it's Eckler. Assuming the Lions are close to the end zone, they got to go for it on fourth down if they don't punch it in here within the next two plays. If they're backed up at like the 9 or something, like there's a sack, then maybe it's different. But if Detroit's close, got to be a little bit ballsy. That starts with throwing the ball. Because goal line running in this game is it usually doesn't end well. Look at these two quarterbacks bowling out. And look at Lamar Jackson bowling out. And then you got Matt Corral. I'm just going to post the clown meme in the OFL server now before I forget. Good touchdown by the Lions. We're tied at 21. Who scored there? I couldn't really tell. Has some nice hair, though. All right, the meme has been inserted. More open than Octi's mom's cheeks. Hey, yo! So Seattle is 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Can the little guy, Kyler Murray, lead his team down the field and send Coach RNP back to the OFL Bowl? I suppose that's a good start. We're now at the 2-minute warning. Who is Seattle's kicker? I'm going to check a roster video real quick. Who is their kicker? Corral's definitely the clown with the Soldiers. You've got 3 great quarterbacks balling the hell out. And then you got that guy. I have a feeling Kyler's going to take a shot here. Kind of. Ooh! Marquez Callaway! Nice catch. As of a preseason roster video, Seattle does not have a kicker. They obviously signed somebody, but I have no idea who. So this should be interesting. Although they're pretty much in field goal range now. They're already chewing clock, which is probably for the better. They do have to call a timeout there. Garrett Bowles is hurt. The Lions only had 2 timeouts to begin with, so Detroit is awfully lucky. And Seattle loses their starting left tackle. That's kind of the big deal. Lions calling overtime. If Seattle gets this third down, then I don't want to say it's game over, but it's pretty much game over. So Detroit has to get a stop here. I think he got it. Yeah. Benny Snell got it. Seattle can just keep running the ball for a couple more plays and kick the game-winning field goal. They could almost just knee it if they wanted to, although they won't. I think Detroit's really only hope is trying to strip the ball out. Why did Seattle get back to the line of scrimmage so quickly? What are they doing? What are they doing? Why are they moving so fast? They just got to chew the clock. What are they doing? 3rd and 11. Snell gets it to 17. It's not really that big of a deal because Seattle can still kick it as the time expires, though. And it looks like that's what they're going to do. To send Seattle into the OFL Bowl, it's a 34-yarder. The kick is up. He got it. The Seattle Seahawks win it 24-21. So we've got our OFL Bowl. The number 1 seeded Seattle Seahawks and the 7th seeded Dublin Shamrocks. It's David and Goliath in the big matchup as Kyler Murray defeats Deshaun Watson. Murray leads a game-winning drive down the field and a game-winning field goal by some kicker whom we have no idea who it is. Both quarterbacks played very well. Marquez Callaway had an unbelievable day. So did Deontay Johnson. Who made the kick? Hunter Duplessis, a rookie out of the University of Texas San Antonio, was the one who sent Seattle to the big game. It should have been me, not him. It should have been me. All right, so we can sim through the Pro Bowl. Really robbed us of the Co-Commissions Bowl. That would have been fun for these storylines. But we're going to take a look at who's in the Pro Bowl. We're going to see who's going up in depth trait. All right, which meme player is going to make the Pro Bowl here? Last year we had Amari Rodgers as QB1. Oh, it's all actual quarterbacks here. Huh, okay. Madden actually got it right. Tigers with the top 2 receivers with Jamison Williams and Mecole Hardman. I'm noticing a well-deserved absence of the Minnesota Vikings. Good. Any other major surprises here? Not really. The usual suspects. There we go. Khalil Mack and Myles Garrett. Both deserved. Denzel Perryman made it. Well, Denzel Perryman also made it in real life, so I guess that's not that crazy. The corners are usually pretty weird. Yeah, Christian Fulton, Kendall Sheffield, DJ Reed, Eric Stokes, Jeff Okuda, Daxton Hill, 3 safety number. Which team is Daxton Hill even on? I honestly couldn't tell you. My backup controller is dead. There you go. Not that we need it. Hey, it's Amari Rodgers! He still made it! Last year as a quarterback, this year as a punt returner. What a stud. Hell yeah. Alright, I need to see which team Daxton Hill was on. I had no idea he was that good. Thought that said Jonah Williams was wide receiver 1. That'd be funny. He plays on the Bucks. Okay. Alright, cool. Who allowed Jeff Okuda to make the Pro? I don't know. Couldn't tell me. Okay. Why is it not showing the Uplands logo there? Whatever. We'll take a look at players of the weeks, then we'll check out the depth trade increases, and then that will conclude today's stream. Deshaun Watson, Jordan Fuller, Lamar Jackson, and Carl Lawson. So 2 Shamrocks and 2 Lions, even though the Lions lost. Alrighty, moments of truth. X Factor database. I feel like all of these were probably the same. So no changes for the Bears. I don't think Amari Cooper had it. I'm not sure if DeMarcus Lawrence did. Matt Milano, I don't believe he was an X Factor prior. David Montgomery is now a superstar. He might have been last year. Was Jamin Davis a superstar already? I think he was, yeah. Hassan Reddick is an X Factor. There's Daxton Hill. He's a superstar now. Darius Slay goes up to X Factor. Devontae Smith goes up to superstar. Wow, the Bats don't have any X Factors. Interesting. Max Mitchell is a superstar. That's a weird one. Jordan Love definitely had superstar already. Yeah, he did. Okay, there's no shot he went up. That'd be funny. Quentin Williams feels new. Well, the Pioneers only have 1 X Factor and 3 superstars. That's interesting. Yeah, look at the Rams. They have 4 X Factors and 5 superstars. Yet they were the worst team, and the Pioneers were the best team in the regular season. I'll check Corral, although I'm going to assume he didn't move up. I know the Ravens want to see their picks, and then I got another suggestion. I believe it was from Nickinator to go through the standings just so we can see the draft order. So I'll do that as well. Anything new for us? Did Terrell already have superstar? I don't think he did. Okay, yay, we got 1 up. That's 1 more than I was expecting. All right, so Corral. That'd be funny if he did go up. No, he still is normal. All right, we'll check out the Ravens picks real quick. Then we'll go. We'll scroll through everybody's picks since we're already here. The order might not be exact, by the way, but I think it's pretty close. What do we have? 8. I think that's right. I think we should have 7, so it might not be right. How many did the Beats have? Like 20? Good God. Better put those to good use. All right, I think we were using the Lion, so there we go. Standings. Well, technically we already did, but we'll just go through the standings for the pick order. With the playoff teams, it's not exact, particularly in the AFC, because we had a lot of lower seeds win. But it's, for the most part, like this. So there you go. That will conclude today's stream. Next stream will be Sunday. I'll give a time soon, but it's probably going to be earlier in the day. Earlier is in, like, I don't know, 3 o'clock. Not, like, early. But, yeah. So, hope everybody enjoyed. We'll be back Sunday for the Seahawks and... I almost said Pioneers. The Seahawks and the Shamrocks to see who wins OFL Bowl 16. Peace out, everybody.